Hi, this is Ken from KPC 4 Degrees, and this is a continuation video from the one that we talked about when I unboxed veneers. So now we're going to actually use them, and I'm going to show you how I incorporate them and cut them and put them into, or I should say use in a box. These rolls of veneer are huge. You have to cut them down to a usable length. I'm going to be putting veneer in this spalted maple and this figured black walnut. My spalted maple and figured black walnut is about 20-21 inches long. I always cut a little extra. It's a lot easier to cut wood off than it is to add wood on. So this is the thicker veneer, and that one cut on the thin veneer would have already gone through. The thick veneer, we take it a little slower. As I said, there we go. Now the black. I just like these carbide tip X-Acto knife blades. They just really slice through things and they hold up. On the thicker material, I usually have to score it 3, 4, 5 times. If I was using the thinner, 1 time and I would be through. I just don't want to tear the edges, so I take it a little bit slower. Let's see. There we go. Now I need to cut it lengthwise to fit in between each one of the pieces. When I measure, because I'm filling it in the walls, I use just one of these as my template. As you see, I lay it, I pick it down because these are about 1 inch. I want a little extra on the top and the bottom. I'll shave it off later. But it's easier to have extra now than it is to use the sander and try to find it later. Let's cut. Excellent. So now I have to make 1, 2, 3, 4 total, so I have to make 3 more. Let's just cut 3 more. So now I'm going to cut the black veneer, but this time I'm going to clamp the end of my ruler. So I want to make these all the same length, and I got these really cool scissors by accident. They're like bonsai trimming tree scissors, and they really cut through stuff. Cool. I don't throw these away. I actually use these things to put glue on instead of rollers and my finger and all that other sort of stuff. So I have a whole drawer of them. We're not going to need the mat board to cut on anymore. So let me show you how I'm going to organize this. Alright, so we're going to organize this, and we put the black against the white against the black. We'll put, again, the black against the white. Put the black against the white. Get these organized a little bit. Slide that in. And then, almost got it wrong. right. Let's take a look and see what we got. This is what we're aiming for. We're aiming for the white veneers up against the black walnut and the black gum veneer up against the spalted maple. Additionally, I try to carry the grain pattern or the feathering across the veneer line. All right, let's glue. I'm going to just throw some rubber bands on it for now while I get ready to glue. And I'm going to also show you how I glue, or where I glue. So I made this clamping station. This thing is like 36 inches wide, 36 inches long. It has room for about 9 of these Bessie clamps. And I did this because I just needed to stabilize what I was doing as far as gluing things up. Everything was turning out like a bow for a bow and arrow. Because this glue is always dropping, dripping all over the place, I try to save myself the cleanup effort. Buy some cheap masking tape, and I cover my rails. So when it drips, I can just throw away the tape. Now the part you've all been waiting for, the gluing part. Grab some wax paper, and it's just easier to work off of wax paper and to throw it away when my glue is dripping all over the place than it is to scrape my desk off and try to clean it. I'm not going to glue this all at one time. There's technically 12 glues in here, and it'll just get out of control. So I'm going to do it in small stages. Also, I'm using the thick veneer, if you remember, and this stuff, when you see I'm going to take the rubber bands off, it just is going to bow like crazy. It's just hard to work with. So we're going to try to work with it in smaller segments. So this is why I work in segments. Remember I said I saved my extra pieces of veneer? This is why. We're taking this in small segments, so my black goes on the spalted maple, my maple veneer goes on top of that, and then my black walnut on top. So let's go on over, let's take this to the clamps and start here. So, this is why I set up this station beforehand, is because if you don't, this is a mess. You want to push all your veneers down and make sure that they're flush at the bottom. You want to square up your ends on your primary pieces of wood and clamp them just a little bit at a time. All right, we're going to let this sit for a half hour and then we're going to add some more on. Okay, this was in the vise about 30 minutes or so. It's not totally dry, but it's dry enough to be able to add on the next layer. So we're going to move fast. We're going to add some more glue, and we're going to add one more layer. Put the maple up against the black walnut. The black gum is going to go against the spalted maple. And here's our thin little skinny middle strip of, I want to make sure I have my marks. My marks are there. I let my block of veneer and my future box walls sit for about 4 hours. Initially, I'm going to take the big bumps off with a hand planer. I initially hand planed it to just take the rough edge off, and so that when I put it up against the fence I have a relatively flat surface up against the fence. Now I'm going to put it through the table saw and try to square up this one face, and then I'll flip it around and I'll square up the other face. Today we have been working on how I incorporate veneer into one of my projects. This project happens to be a project where I'm building the walls for a future box. I used a black gum veneer and I also used a maple veneer. The other two woods are a figured black walnut and a spalted maple. So take a look, see how cool this looks. I'm excited and thrilled with how it's coming along so far. Thanks for watching another video. If you like this video, please press the like button. And if you want to see more, then you're supposed to press the subscribe button. I also have an Instagram page. It's KPC 4 Degrees, and I just started a Pinterest page because I like to see things in a big format on my computer, and it's KPC 4 Degrees. So thank you again for watching this video. Give a nugget, get a nugget.